Fernando Alonso's car collection is impressive and historic. The two-time world champion once owned the first-ever Ferrari Enzo chassis. Number 1 off the line, certified by Ferrari themselves. With under 3,000 miles, and F1 legend Michael Schumacher tied to its development, that car alone is worth millions. However, Enzo is just the beginning. His garage is packed with ultra-rare Ferraris and next-level hypercars, each one telling a story only a racing legend could write. So what's hiding behind those garage doors? Let's take an exclusive look inside his car collection. First, Aston Martin Valkyrie. The Valkyrie is a full-throttle, track-borne monster tailored by Aston Martin's Q division just for Fernando. It's got personality, race pedigree, and a sprinkle of that signature Alonzo flair that turns heads from Monaco to Silverstone. Let's start with the basics. The Valkyrie is outrageous. We're talking a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, mated to a hybrid system, cranking out a staggering 1,155 horsepower. It hits 60 in under 2.5 seconds and feels like it might bend time while it's at it. But here's where it gets spicy. Fernando didn't want just any Valkyrie. He wanted his. So Aston's bespoke Q division got to work turning this one into a proper tribute to his Formula 1 AMR24 race car. First off, the paint. That satin Aston Martin racing green finish looks like it came straight off the F1 grid. Then, there's the AMR lime graphics slicing through the car's aero lines like they were born there. Around back, the Venturi tunnels are a visual spectacle, painted in speed red, light blue, and dark blue. The kind of flair that's half art, half physics. These tunnels suck the car to the ground, and they look like something off a spaceship. There's even a bespoke, "Caution Hot" decal tucked away back there. A cheeky nod to the Valkyrie's heat-soaked guts, though. Judging by a few breakdowns Alonzo had in Monaco, it might have been a warning worth taking seriously. Slide inside, and it's more F1 cockpit than Grand Tourer. Loads of exposed carbon fiber, just enough Alcantara to keep things premium, and that gorgeous AMR lime stitching tying it all together. His personal logo is stitched into the headrests. But the real gem is the red anodized aluminum accelerator pedal. It's etched with Alonso's legendary number 14, a tribute to the number he first wore back in '96, when he became karting world champion at just 14 years old. It's not just a showpiece either. Each Valkyrie is hand-built at Aston Martin's headquarters in Gaydon, England, taking over 2,000 hours of craftsmanship. Before delivery, they're track-tested at Silverstone, the same ground Alonso races on. If you thought that was the most extreme car he had, buckle up, because his next toy takes things to another level entirely. But, before that, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you're a fan of rare Ferraris or just love hearing stories behind iconic cars. 2. Aston Martin Valiant. Built off the already wild Aston Martin Valor, the Valiant was Fernando's idea. He wanted something lighter, faster, meaner. Valiant is a 5.2-liter twin-turbocharged V12 beast, tuned to produce 745 horsepower. That's 30 more horses than the Valor. Doesn't sound like much. It is when the car weighs 220 pounds less. The Valiant goes on a diet so strict, it'd make a UFC fighter jealous. Magnesium wheels, a lighter torque tube, a featherweight lithium-ion battery, even a 3D printed rear subframe. Every pound was scrutinized. Every part had to earn its place. Fernando wasn't playing around with this one. He wanted a real driver's car. Instead of a paddle shift setup, the Valiant features a 6-speed manual transmission. Old school, row your own gears type of fun. It's mated to a mechanical layout designed to keep things raw. Just you, the engine, and whatever stretch of road or track you decide to terrorize. Then there's the exterior. Valiant makes a visual statement from a mile away. That massive carbon fiber grille isn't just there to look cool. It's funneling air straight to the engine while shaving mass off the front end for better weight balance. Around back, the Valiant drops jaws with 4 huge titanium exhaust pipes. The wheels? Wrapped in sticky Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, 275s up front, 325s in the rear. Behind those magnesium rims are massive carbon ceramic brakes. 16.1-inch rotors in the front, 14.2-inch rotors in the rear. This thing stops as fiercely as it goes. Inside, there's no luxury lounge. It's a cockpit. Everything is there to serve the driver. Think of it like a refined race car. No fluff, no gimmicks, just control and feedback. Only 38 of these were built, all of them sold. Price? Around $3 million a pop. Alonzo got the first one, naturally. 3. Ferrari LaFerrari. A name so nice they named it twice. Alonzo owns one of the rarest variants ever made. A matte black beast with razor-sharp red accents, known officially as Nero di Opaco. Only 499 LaFerraris were ever built, and among those, Fernando's is one of the most visually menacing. His version is fitted with matching black wheels and red brake calipers that peek through like war paint. Pop the hood, and you'll find a 6.3-liter naturally aspirated V12 engine that screams with Italian fury. That alone gives you 789 horsepower. Now add an electric motor into the mix, and you're looking at a staggering 950 horsepower in total. Now, remember, Alonso didn't just own this car, he shaped it. Back when Ferrari was building this hybrid supercar from scratch, they brought in the man himself. Alonso helped fine-tune everything, from the seating position to the handling dynamics, even down to the control layout. The cockpit wasn't just built for performance, it was built around a Formula One champion. He didn't just sign off on paper either. Alonso took the LaFerrari to the Fiorano test track, Ferrari's private playground just outside their Maranello factory, and gave it a proper shakedown. Alonso's feedback during those testing sessions helped Ferrari finalize what would become their fastest road car to date. Let's not forget the performance numbers. This carbon fiber missile hits 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds, blasts past 120 in under 7, and will keep charging until it hits 217 miles per hour, if you've got the guts and enough open road. All this while delivering over 660 pound-feet of torque straight to the rear wheels. 4. Ferrari 599 GTB 60 F1 Alonso Edition. Back in 2011, Alonso snatched a huge win at the British Grand Prix, precisely 60 years after Ferrari's first ever Formula One victory at the same track. That moment didn't just spark champagne celebrations. It inspired Ferrari to craft this special edition GTB as a nod to both past and present legends. Only about 40 of these were ever made, and only 9 made their way into right-hand drive markets. Alonso's own is finished in Rosso Scuderia, with white livery details that channel the F1150 Italia, the very car he won with at Silverstone. There are Scuderia Ferrari shields on the fenders, and a commemorative dash plaque bearing a facsimile of Alonso's autograph. Under the hood, you've got the same 6.0-liter V12 from the standard 599 GTB. That's 612 horsepower of naturally aspirated bliss. But this special edition comes with Ferrari's HGTE handling package, which stands for Handling Gran Turismo Evoluzione. A mouthful, but what it means is tighter springs, firmer anti-roll bars, and a recalibrated suspension. The F1-style paddle-shifted transmission is razor-sharp. Hit that right paddle, and it responds instantly, like it knows what you're thinking. Inside, you'll find carbon fiber everywhere, with racing seats wrapped in Alcantara, racing harnesses in blue and red, and enough prancing horses to make a rancher jealous. Even the engine bay is signed by Alonso himself. What makes this car especially compelling is its purpose. It isn't just about raw speed, though it has plenty. It's about celebration, legacy. You can almost feel the pride baked into every stitch, every line of bodywork. This isn't a car built for marketing. It's one born out of a moment in time, when a modern champion echoed a historic victory, 6 decades later. Collectors know the value of cars like this. They're not mass-produced. They're built in moments that can't be repeated. Each one of these 599 GTB Alonso editions is a time capsule, and Fernando's own example is probably the most significant of them all. 5. McLaren P1. The McLaren P1 was McLaren's ambitious answer to the holy trinity of hypercars, right alongside the Porsche 918 and Ferrari LaFerrari, and only 375 of these were ever made. Under the hood, you'll find a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V8 paired with an electric motor. That combo gives you a punch of instant torque with brutal acceleration. Together, they crank out around 903 horsepower and can rocket the car from 0 to 60 in just 2.8 seconds. Top speed? 217 miles per hour. Now, Alonso's personal P1? It's finished in papaya orange, an unmistakable nod to McLaren's racing heritage. It's sleek, aggressive, and absolutely dripping in Formula One DNA. In fact, the whole car looks and feels like a street-legal F1 machine. Carbon fiber wraps the body and chassis like a second skin. The cockpit is centered like a fighter jet. Even the air intake snorkel on the roof screams racing thoroughbred. But what makes the P1 truly different from its peers is how it drives. It was tested in the most brutal environments: freezing cold, scorching heat, and even the Nürburgring. McLaren's goal was simple: create the ultimate driver's car, not just on the track, but on real roads. Inside, it's stripped back, but high-tech. Alcantara, carbon fiber, everything focused on the driver. No distractions, just you, the road, and 900-plus horsepower begging to be unleashed. Alonzo received this hypercar as part of his welcome package when he joined McLaren's F1 team. Even now, over a decade since launch, the P1 feels ahead of its time. 6. Porsche 918 Spider. Porsche built just 918 of these, and each one is a masterclass in German engineering. Underneath its sleek body is a 4.6-liter naturally aspirated V8, and not one, but two electric motors. Total output is a massive 875 horsepower. But the real kicker is torque, which is 944 pound-feet. That's more than a Bugatti Veyron. It'll go from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds flat, enough to make your stomach drop and your brain question reality. It has a top speed of 214 miles per hour. But the experience isn't just about raw numbers. It's about how it delivers them. The 918 feels glued to the road, thanks to all-wheel drive and electric torque vectoring on both axles. You get that perfect mix of brute force and razor-sharp control. Step on the throttle, and the response is instant, like flipping a switch. The steering? Heavier than you'd expect, but it gives you tons of feedback, letting you know exactly what the car's doing at any given moment. The 918 also came with an optional Weissach package, which some owners, possibly Alonso, went for. It shed about 90 pounds and added carbon aero bits. It even bumped the top speed to 215 miles per hour. You're essentially getting a track car with license plates. At the time, these cars were new and cost just under $900,000. Today, you're looking at $1.2 million, minimum. That's if you're lucky. But a celebrity-owned model like Alonso's? Easily more. 7. Mercedes McLaren SLR 722 Edition. Built by McLaren in partnership with Mercedes-Benz, only 150 of these were ever made, making it one of the rarest machines to ever roll out of Woking, England. According to reports, it was gifted to him by McLaren during his first stint with the team. What he got was a front-engine beast, producing around 650 horsepower, courtesy of a supercharged 5.4-liter V8. This wasn't your typical Mercedes. You had carbon ceramic brakes, a reinforced carbon fiber monocoque, and a body that just looked like it wanted to punch a hole through time itself. Now, let's talk speed. The SLR 722 rockets from 0 to 60 in just 3.6 seconds, topping out at a wild 209 miles per hour. That's nearly Formula One speed in a road-legal package. Built in the same McLaren facility where their race cars were assembled, this wasn't a car for just anyone. The name 722 isn't random either. It honors Sir Stirling Moss and Dennis Jenkinson, who tore through the 1955 Mille Miglia in a Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, leaving the starting line at 7:22 a.m. That number became legend, and this car, a modern salute to it. Every inch of the 722 shows performance. 19-inch light alloy wheels, a revised suspension that drops it nearly half an inch lower than the standard SLR, and stiffer dampers for sharper handling. It's got presence, sharp lines, gull-wing doors, and an interior laced with carbon fiber and leather. Even cooler, it was constructed during the same era as McLaren's MP422 Formula One car, the very one Alonso drove. 8. McLaren Elva. One of only 149 units ever built in 2022, Alonso's Elva is number 114, finished with a unique spec straight from McLaren's high-end McLaren Special Operations division. This thing doesn't even have a windshield, seriously. It uses something called active air management, that directs airflow up and over the cockpit, so the driver and passenger don't get their faces peeled off at 100 miles per hour. Speaking of speed, the Elva is insanely fast. Under the hood sits a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, throwing down 804 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels through a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. This car launches 0 to 62 in under 3 seconds and 0 to 124 in 6.7 seconds. Alonso's Elva wasn't just a flashy showpiece either. It was his personal ride, custom-fitted, super lightweight, and virtually untouched, with just 4 kilometers on the clock when it went to auction. The car was such a big deal that when it went up for sale in Abu Dhabi, Alonso himself was there to hand over the keys in person. Visually, the Elva is like nothing else on the road. It's stripped down, but in a way that screams exclusivity. The dashboard melts into the door panels. The infotainment system is minimal, and the flat-bottom steering wheel has 0 distractions, no buttons, and no clutter. The Elva was designed to celebrate McLaren's 1960s roots, when Bruce McLaren partnered with Elva Cars to build lightweight racers. That DNA is alive in this car. Lightweight, brutal, beautiful. A modern-day nod to McLaren's early racing spirit, but built with every ounce of 21st-century tech you could cram into a carbon fiber rocket. Back when it launched, the Elva was priced around $1.7 million. But Alonso's personalized version was valued between $2.5 million and $3 million at auction. That's the kind of premium a world champ's ownership adds. 9. Ferrari Enzo. At first glance, it's a Ferrari Enzo, already one of the most iconic, elite, and desirable Ferraris ever built. But the one owned by Fernando Alonso? It's not just any Enzo, it's the Enzo. Chassis number 1, the very first body ever made. Ferrari themselves confirmed it, and it even comes with the official Ferrari Classiche certification to back it up. We're talking about the first Scacca, which is a fancy Italian way of saying it's numero uno, the godfather of all Enzos. Now, if you're a fan of automotive history, you already know the Enzo is no ordinary beast. Built between 2002 and 2004, Ferrari only made 400 of them. Ferrari designed the Enzo with the help of none other than Michael Schumacher. Everything from its carbon fiber body to the way it hugs the road was born from F1 technology. You can feel the racecraft in every inch. Alonso's Enzo is finished in classic Rosso Corsa, that iconic Ferrari red that practically screams performance. But here's where things get even more jaw-dropping. It's barely been driven. With only 2,983 miles on the odometer, this car is practically factory fresh. For a 2-decade-old hypercar, that's as close as you're going to get to stepping into a time machine. So, how did Alonso end up with such a rare slice of automotive royalty? That's where things get a little mysterious. Records show he registered the car in 2011, right in the middle of his Ferrari F1 run, from 2010 to 2014. Now, Ferrari isn't exactly known for handing out Enzos like party favors, even to their star drivers. Gifting a car, not really their style. But the timing is curious. Some say he might have gotten a special deal, a discount maybe, something Ferrari occasionally offers to favored drivers. Maybe it wasn't a gift in the traditional sense, but it definitely wasn't a random showroom buy either. Alonso hasn't shared many details about how he snagged it, but during that era, he was scooping up Ferraris left and right. A white 458, a black LaFerrari. The guy was clearly in the zone, a man on a mission to build the ultimate garage. In 2023, Alonso's Enzo was auctioned in Monaco with an estimate north of €5 million, or about $5.4 million. If this peek into Fernando Alonso's car collection blew your mind, wait until you see what's coming next. More legendary machines, more untold stories, and plenty of jaw-dropping details still to come. So go ahead and subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and get ready. You won't want to miss part 2.